All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to a very exciting Speed Gaming Live round of 64 winners bracket match. We have got Eriror here on the left versus tstew on the right, and I'm joined by Wallkicks on commentary. Hello, Wally. How are you doing today?
Hello, Matt. I'm doing fantastic for this, at least for me, Sunday morning, but for others, Sunday afternoon, potentially even Sunday evening for those potentially like Eri, who is European. But I'm looking forward to a very exciting race. These are two excellent runners. And I believe you might have a little bit of an interest in this race too, because I believe you face the winner here.
Yeah, I get to do a little bit of free scouting. I was going to watch this match anyway, so I figured might as well try and hop on commentary to give my thoughts, I guess.
That's true, and as you see, both runners required to have cameras so we can see their reactions and overall play style. Eri, obviously very well known, very well accomplished NMG runner. I don't know if tstew plays a lot of NMG, but his execution is still very, 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 very good. So I'm expecting a good race from both runners.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen tstew in an NMG race, but like he's a top ranked player, does very well on ladder. Tstew is actually my most common ladder opponent, so I know how good he is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see how this one goes.
Yeah, and so I mean we're just gonna go ahead and get started. Heart piece right there. tstew is actually using some dash strats immediately. I don't know if it's faster, but a little interesting for sure.
Yeah, it's tough to know because you usually don't have boots on these screens very often.
True.
But whatever Eri does, I'm just going to trust that that's the fastest thing to do.
That's usually a good sign. If Eri is doing, if you're doing something, you see Eri doing the same thing, you're like, all right, I'm probably doing it correctly.
Yeah, and if you you notice Eri's file name, there's been a bit of a competition to try and get a sub 5 escape. And so he did pick up a magic pot, so it does count if he gets it. But if there's anybody in this tournament who is going to pull that off, he is the man for the job.
Yeah, I think we were talking a little bit before this race started, and I think it's mentioned that Bwayne might be the closest who got a 5:02 escape, so got to find a way to cut 2 seconds, and that's not easy.
No, not only do you need near perfect execution, there's quite a bit of RNG involved, even with boots and escape. Some of these guard placements, you can get poked. The rat, before the rat key room, can poke you, so it takes a little bit of luck and a lot of skill.
I know, I think I haven't played this mode very much, just because I've been busy with other things, but I think the fastest I can get is like a 5:10, so the fact that there's a competition for potential sub 5 is just insane to me.
Yeah, and so not a whole lot of interesting items so far. Having this kind of escape sequence is nice for these tournaments, at least in my opinion. You get a little bit of time to warm up, get used to the kind of little bit of pressure that you're under. And if this goes well, you're kind of in a good place to start getting focused on your run.
Oh yeah, I mean, with kind of like you said, these two runners, you know, they don't really need they don't need a lot to go right for them. I guess I had a thought in my head and then that went away, so I don't know what I was going to say. It's early for me.
So you see tstew here, he's taking a little bit of damage. He's down to 1.5 hearts. I wonder if that will change his strategy on the ball and chain guard. I know if I'm at 2 hearts, I usually grab the pot instead of going for the 8/. Sure. He's got the green guard. Yeah, I hate it when this happens. Oh, he's in trouble. Okay, looks like he'll be all right.
I'm not sure we're on a sub 5 pace, though, unfortunately.
No, I believe the sub 5 is now dead.
But we did get a moon pearl. Zelda holding out on one of our main access points for Dark World. So good early item there. Potentially, you know, you could see Dark World accessing Kakariko if there's a hammer, glove, or both gloves, and could see some early route divergence.
Yeah, it also plays into the kind of fake flipper decisions that might be coming up. That gives you an extra check with Hobo, with all that, if you are one of the people that decides to do that.
Yeah, watching some of these, it's interesting to see some of the route divergences early, because I've noticed some runners like to set up the water walk from the Lost Woods drop down, where they kind of dash by the hole, and then use that to kind of get over, do an early Ice Rod Cave into potential Zora play.
Yeah, exactly. And with that Moon Pearl, you can regain your water walk coming out of the waterfall there. So you see tstew maybe doing a little bit of farming, maybe just trying to be a little safe with the health. They are in a prize pack with 8 bombs, and bombs are nice to get early like this. But we'll see in the snake room whether or not tstew is going to go for that.
It'd probably be worth it knowing that it's there and available. I think both runners have advanced the prize pack to at least the fairy, so they still have a little ways to go because I think it's still full magic, rupees, and then that bomb, and then the 8 bomb. So will be a little interesting.
Ooh, nice silver arrows. So one of the main changes to this mode is that the bows are no longer progressive. So you see tstew is going to do a little bit of farming, grab that 8 bomb pack. He's got to be not taking
Gotta
a
be
hit
careful. A death and escape is very, very.
Oh, that was risky. Why did he dash up the middle? Oh my, he's got. So those snakes will kill him. He can take 2 rat hits though, so he's in okay shape now.
Did get the bombs though. So who's the real winner here?
Exactly. You got a red line. You're against area, right? There's no slowing down.
And even if you don't get bombs, like out of the escape sequence with the boots, there is a little rock, or there's some bonk rocks near Kakariko that guarantee a bomb whenever you hit it. So if Eri is in need of a bomb, he will be able to get one.
I want to see Eri's face coming out of escape with the 507. Yeah, there's a little bit of disappointment there.
I mean, little does he know though, he's already built up a little bit of a lead, just because the enemy RNG's not been super kind to either runner so far.
No, exactly. And now with getting that Master Sword, I would fully expect them to check the Lumberjack anyway, but with that extra little hint of a potential Agaseed, I would say they both will definitely check it now.
Yeah, you're already 2/3 of the way there.
So you're getting money early with in casual boots when you're really trying to get to Zora is always very nice because it's very easy to isolate that check in casual boots.
Yep, did see a map on tstew's side. I believe there was a 5-6 at Eastern, and then we had pendants at Hera and Desert, with Desert being green pendant.
Yeah, that's interesting. Seeing those late world pendants may make, if they get a lamp, the Aga push that much more tempting rather than diving some of those pendant dungeons to try and find your Dark World access.
Yes, especially in a 1v1 race, knowing who your opponent is, because then you're trying to think to yourself, okay, like say from tstew's perspective, he's like, okay, I got to find a way to save time every way I can against Eri just because of Eri's execution. So like you said, if he finds the lamp, he might think to himself, okay, there's pendant dungeons. Hopefully these pendant dungeons are just worthless and I don't need to dip them. And I just go to Aga right here and now and, try to gain a little bit of an advantage over Eri.
Yeah, it's interesting, especially in tstew's spot, right? Like, there are very few runners that he's going to lose as much time against as he will with Eri, right? He's probably losing at least 3 minutes of execution, which is really not the case with almost anybody else. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually does change his strategy when, for the most part, against 99% of runners, he will not have to.
Right. You're seeing Eri there taking the 2 bombs from that bonk rocks that I mentioned earlier, just to give him enough bombs for at least minimum the Blind's Hut and the Cackwell. But I expect we'll probably pick up at least 1 bomb here somewhere.
Yeah, so now we're getting to some real density of checks. Find a nice bottle. It's always nice to find a Kakariko. Will allow you to get that sick kid check as well as your Zora money. So Blind's Hut paying out with at least some items to make your routing easier in the early game.
Having that early bottle is nice just because you're not orphaning sick kid. You don't have to come back to Kakariko just for 1 check.
Yeah, and another thing about this game mode is that all of the bottles you will pick up are empty, which actually makes more of a difference than you would think. Not having like a free fairy or a blue potion from one of these checks getting into the later game really does make you maybe more inclined to stop by a shop.
It really does, and you might know this. I'm not sure because I haven't put a whole lot of practice into this mode. Does Waterfall and Pyramid Fairy, would they give you potentially potions, or do they give you like bees and if you want potions you have to go buy them?
Yeah, you can get a potion or a fairy
Okay.
from the fairies, and we see a glove and it was a cane of Burna there in the well. So not a ton of stuff here in Kakariko. We see Ares. So TCU's getting a lot of time back, I'll point out, from farming that 8 bomb drop, right? He didn't have to touch the bonk rocks or the shop here.
It's true. So, just like that, we're kind of to even. Ari also buying a potion, which, I mean, given the money situation, I think is actually pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. The last thing you want to do is take an early death in one of these seeds.
Oh, there's a hammer. There we have Darkwood access already. All right, do we skip the rest of our route and go into the Village of Outcasts, or are we going somewhere else? Ari still hasn't done a map. I was about to say, I was like, the map check might actually sway Ari in one way or another.
Yeah, with this Pendant Crystal layout, I actually would expect them to go into Dark World. It's just, it really sucks when you go into Dark World here and you find a mirror in Mini Moldorm Cave or something.
Right.
But being able to go in here and maybe skip Skull Woods, get your Thieves Town out of the way, hopefully that's a crystal, and just get that south sweep done super early is very tempting and very efficient. We see it looks like they're diverging.
Yeah, it looks like tstew is going straight up to Dark World. Ari taking a little bit more of a traditional path, checking library and race game.
Yeah, and with actually that Cane of Burna, that really makes the Thieves Town dive a lot more comfortable on Green Mail and 4 Hearts.
Agreed.
So this is good. You love to see it. This is this is what we want, right?
Right off the bat, and we're seeing Pendant Skull Wood. So I like tstew's play just to go straight in, hoping that you never have to come back. I didn't catch the other 5/6. I thought it might have been Turtle Rock.
Yes, that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, you see in tstew clearing Skull Woods front to back. Ari also, I'll point out, went right into Dark World, but he's opting to start at Hype Cave.
Yeah, this is very good item density. It'll be interesting to see if he chooses to go left to do Stumpy Dig Game, or if he goes right to head over to like Pyramid Catfish. Because I don't think you go straight into Pod right now.
Yeah, no, that might be a bit too aggressive. So with this, with TR being a 5/6, the play to Pyramid and Catfish is a little bit more tempting. But also with seeing the Pendant Skull Woods, being able to go west here and then being able to start at Thieves Town and then making your decision to go north is kind of attractive as well.
Yeah, they're both very reasonable plays given like what you said, what we know about our Pendant and Crystal layout. So Ari choosing to go left, which again makes total sense. tstew working his way through Skull Woods. I don't think we have seen an item yet, but that is a nice Quake medallion.
So tstew waiting out the hand here. It would be interesting to see if he bails out on the rest of the items. Clearly he's not going to if he's going to get this key, so
right.
He may or may not see the second item. See Ari just digging away. Ooh, nice early Cane of Samaria. It really does nothing for progression for now, but it's nice to have at least.
No. And I wonder if tstew will recognize, so given that we actually haven't seen a small key in a chest yet in this dungeon, if we see the map, that guarantees that our second item is going to be, or map or compass, I don't know which one was in the big chest, but if we see the other, that guarantees that the second item is actually just going to be on Mothula, and tstew recognizes that. Yeah,
that's really impressive game knowledge right there. Like when you said that, it kind of blew my mind a little bit because I would never have thought of that, and so that's very smart.
tstew now going to head east, check Bumper Cave. No camp yet, but the knowledge itself is always good to have. Plus, you're not really going to come back here anytime soon unless you pick up a mirror. Just bombs though, so nothing worth there.
Yeah, seen Ari not going to Skull Woods, which definitely makes sense. It can be a bit of a long check.
because he started from like he went west, so he doesn't have to worry about going south. So he can do the village and then go north into Skull Woods.
It's a nice heart container there for tstew. The containers are a little rare in this. Like this has kind of the same health pool as hard mode did, but I think it's a little bit differently distributed. They're much more. You have to get a lot more of your health from heart pieces as opposed to heart containers. So you do kind of stay low health for a bit longer in the early game with this SGL settings.
Yeah, I think there's like 2 heart containers plus Sank Heart, and then however many hearts to get you up to 14, which I think is 24 or 32. One of those two. Yeah, both runners now in Thieves Town, full clearable Crystal Dungeon. Be interesting to see if we get anything of value in here. That book is gross, though.
Yeah. Game gives you access to desert, which is not completable without a fire source. But you may not need to complete it, right? It is the green pendant though. And seeing when these guys are entering the Thieves Town, this will kind of give you an idea of what the execution edge is, right? Like Eri was in here just a little bit earlier than tstew, so seeing how they come out will kind of give us some perspective on that.
Yeah, because this is about as close to NMG as you're going to get. I mean, obviously health is going to be a little bit different, but you know, you Master Sword, this is at least equipment-wise pretty identical.
See here, we got the Hellway here is kind of the most. Ooh, Eri getting bad RNG. I don't know if this RNG is seeded. It is not. So tstew getting a little bit of better of a pattern, but not too much difference there.
It looked like Eri didn't even try to go for the God Pixel, which you know, makes sense.
He couldn't with exactly. He couldn't with that RNG anyway.
Oh, okay.
So I think we still got 2 items left in Thieves Town.
Yep. Still looking for that small key though, but I mean, with the hammer, it's not like we're going to be leaving either of them here.
Yeah, and so after this, these guys don't really have a whole lot to do in the Dark World, so I think we may see them start to clean up some of that, so the South Shore checks in the Light World, unless we find like a Mitz or a mirror in here somewhere.
Yeah, I expect tstew to continue south to go to, you know, pick up the cane off of Dig Game and through Hype Cave. He'll probably honestly take it all the way to Pyramid Catfish, I think, because that's just the entire Dark World loop sans Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, and from tstew's perspective, Catfish could be an early check that he could make to potentially try to gain an advantage. That's an often last location check. So doing it early and having it pay out can be very beneficial.
But then, like in his head, he's also got to weigh the risk of it because, as you mentioned, it's also kind of an out of the way check. And so, is tstew going to think to himself, "Okay, I need to potentially cut corners against Eri," and so that might be something that he says, "Okay, well, this is a 45-second to a 1-minute check for one item. It's not worth it, given Eri, please." Anyways, I was saying tstew might not take the risk of going all the way for 1 check.
I'll point out, I think tstew gained time in Thieves Town.
I think he did too.
That is super impressive.
Eri's blind fight was not very strong. I think I don't know. Did he put on the blindfold and then not? I don't know. But Eri's having a little fun after that fight.
This is why SGLIVE's the best. It's so nice seeing everybody's face.
It's true. Oh, there's that heart container. Okay. So yeah, so Eri's going to continue north. tstew's going to continue south. It'll be another minute or two before we kind of really see who has been more thorough in their exploration.
So yeah, so Aries just going to get his Quake Medallion. It'll be interesting to see if he just bails after getting this Quake Medallion. I think a lot of players, he's going to get it in this chest, would bail. I personally, if I was in Aries' position right here, I would leave Skullwoods. I would save and quit.
He's going to gain a little bit of time too, having that Cane of Samaria. He doesn't have to drag the statue all the way, but it looks like he's going to continue.
He saw the head nod. You see him thinking.
He did see the head nod. He's not going to get a small key. He didn't pick up the small key. And he's not going to get bailed out. Like, he will have to drop down if he wants to continue searching for stuff. Oh, he's just going to drop down anyways.
Yeah, so that means he's going to actually full clear this, right? He'll be forced into doing that extra pinball room check.
Yep. I thought he was going to bonk there. It's amazing watching runners of these caliber, like, kind of know just how far you need to go in order to not bonk against a wall.
Yeah, this is like the movement's just so clean. All right, so tstew going to get his more cash here at a hype cave.
Was that a double stun with one boomerang hit, by the way?
Potentially.
That was really cool. Yeah, so tstew's saying no to Pyramid Catfish.
So yeah, it looks like we're just going to get the South Shore. Be interesting to see if he saves Dam for potential play with Desert.
I think that's the way to do it right now. Because given your money situation, you're going to water walk your way over to Zora. Area, though, looked like he's going to do the dam.
Opting for some Maria action. I guess he's only got 3 bombs, so you might want to be a little conservative with those.
It's going to feel really bad if we find a mirror in here.
Batter's not the best feeling.
No, because that's pretty isolated.
Yeah, I think they found all the 300s already, too.
Easy money.
Yeah, so I expect to see Eri go right here, not left. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, making the desert call right now just sucks. But at the same time, I mean, our runners are down to essentially bad options. You know, you can go to Sahashala and Eastern without the bow. You can go into Pod without the bow. You can do Desert without a fire source. Like, there's not a lot of good for our runners at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say, did tstew, why didn't he set up the water walk there? He's going back in. There we go. All right, so we're going to see a few out of logic checks and one in logic check here. They may or may not go to Hobo. It's kind of runner's preference. Hobo is pretty slow in this spot, and again, is another spot where tstew could skip an item and potentially gain a little bit of time because you got to swim back.
Hobo is a bad check at all times, unless you can combo it in with the mirror and flippers as you're like headed to Pod.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The only reasonable time to be able to check Hobo. Not that it hasn't cost me a race ever, but you know.
So there you go. Never punished.
Never punished.
We'll see if Eri makes the same decision. He's being pretty thorough, so I expect him to likely go to Hobo too. If I was as good as this game as Eri is, I would not skip these checks either.
Yeah, being able to say like, hey, I have the execution advantage, so I'm just going to play my game and not let a random check beat me, although he is skipping Hobo. So he'll be able to take this in a little bit quicker, and just like that, we have a lead change. Gasp.
Nice. Bombos Medallion, other potential progression that means nothing at this point in time.
No, but I mean, it could have some logical implications if you're looking for flippers for like Swamp Palace and you're debating, hey, look, it's the other medallion. But I was just gonna say, you know, if maybe you're looking at it like a potential flippers Gomad or something, you might be able to rule out certain dungeons depending on what our medallions are.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you probably know this better than I do. Oh, there's another 300. Do they have equipment to do a splash lead? I don't think so, right?
It would be tough. Yeah, the Cane of Samaria and bombs, you wouldn't have enough time. They could have potentially set up a double water walk, but you're not going to do that not knowing what's on Zora Ledge.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting, right? 2 flipper lock medallions. So, like you were saying, with the logical implications, is pretty interesting.
Aries going to go up the mountain. Also out of logic, but I mean, this is probably just to get an easy save and quit point. He can actually do Spike Cave with this too, which is something that a lot of runners tend to skip.
Yeah, he can also grab a fairy in the dark world and try a fairy hover revival again in the light world if he really wants to. But I saw him try that in his last SGLIVE race, so I wouldn't put it past him to go for it. But that's a bit risky in this situation.
Yeah, because if you don't get it, that's a pretty big time sink. And yes, there is a little bit of an execution difference between these two, but it's not that much to where Eri can just be like free willy, just not care about time losses, such like that.
Yeah, and as we saw, they were pretty much lockstep 25 minutes into this race.
Oh, it's another bottle. We won't be getting that one.
Yeah, so now we're at this kind of bad coin flip that you are alluding to. Do you go to unclearable Eastern or Pendant Desert?
Also unclearable.
Not a whole lot here for Eri, so we'll see which way he decides to go. I kind of expect him to go to Eastern area.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that's I think too lucrative to skip at this point, considering the path he took to not go into towards Igina's cave like by doing the dam and then going east. So yeah, this is I'd say Saha. The question is, do you do pod first or do you do Eastern first? Neither of them are very exciting.
Yeah, that's tough. And another important implication in this mode is there's only one bow, right? So pod is a lot less lucrative without a bow. So we see three
Nice
320s.
But that was also I'm just gonna point out like that was a really good hammer dash to break the pots and also dash into the wall right there. It was not a strategy I've seen. So very nicely done right there by Eri. Alright, we're choosing pod first. I like it.
Yeah, so this is kind of a pretty big inflection point right here. If there's something good in desert, then tstew is going to have a pretty nice advantage.
Nothing yet, no items either, so potentially an item on Landmo that tstew could be leaving behind, but we won't know that here for another 30-ish seconds.
Yeah, it'll be also, I'm assuming if pod's bow locked area, he's just going to keep going in.
Oh yeah.
But the temptation to leave is pretty high in this mode in particular.
It's interesting because like I mean I don't expect Eri to leave. Nice tempered sword. Not what tstew's looking for, but definitely helps. But like going back to Eri and the bow, if this turns out to be immediately bow locked, like I don't think Eri expects the bow to be the next progression. I fully expect it to be whatever gets us onto East Death Mountain, so either mirror or hookshot, along with maybe like a flute or lamp.
Yeah, and even if you leave pod, you have nowhere good to go, right? So you might as well just stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're right, because even with the bow, a lot of this dungeon is still out of logic, right? So it would make sense that it is not the next piece.
But the small key in the first chest means we can progress. Clear Mouse and Chat, our wonderful tracker, pointing out that the second item in Desert is on Landmo.
Nice This hover is really difficult.
Like, I'm watching Eri do it, and it's like, it doesn't even look like he's attempting to hover on that camera. Like, he just looks like he's still just playing normally.
Yeah, seriously. And this hover is valuable because he doesn't have anything in that bottle, right? He's got a Mimic Cliff if he doesn't get this.
Did he use his red potion? Because I know he bought a red potion.
Oh, right. He's the one who bought one. No, you're 100% right. My bad.
Eri, though, having a little bit of difficulty with this hover, which at some point just begins losing time.
Is he stuck?
Yeah, he was stuck right there.
He's only got one more shot at this, unless he wants to. He's surely not going to use his potion to do more hovers, so that would be pretty ironic.
No, all right. I think we're done. All right. Good attempts. Unfortunately, not quite working out. Tstew, meanwhile, is in Eastern Palace. Got a big key in the first chest and that heart in the second chest. So I think that's all the heart containers that Tstew's going to pick up this seed.
He's actually in pretty good health position for 30 minutes into one of these seeds.
This is all just calculated on Eri's part so he can lose the health, so he can use this red potion.
That's right. The more hearts it gives you, the faster the Mimic Clip, right?
It is totally how that works. Wait, what happened? Oh wait, no, the door's open. Oh, he's just setting up a death warp. For a second I thought something went wrong, but he was just taking damage.
So Tstew found nothing here in Logic in Eastern Palace, I don't believe. So progression's either here or Pyramid Catfish, it looks like.
Gross. The second item that Tstew found in Eastern was actually our small magic decanter, indicating that was supposed to be half magic.
What, was it just one key on the Bullock-sided pod?
I
think so, right? It was a key in a map.
Admittedly wasn't paying attention. Chat, though, is on top of things. Thank you, chat.
So yeah, I would say that this Compass chest here in Bod is very likely to have progression.
I agree.
What do you know?
Shocking.
That's kind of gross, actually.
That is extremely gross.
It gives you your out of logic Death Mountain, East Death Mountain access, but it means your progression is very likely in Graveyard Ledger K45, which are not easy to get back to.
No, I mean, so if you're Eri, knowing that, you know, you're still looking for a logical way up the mountain, he's already been up the mountain, so it might be more valuable to him to go up the mountain right now, but, you know, at what point do you go through and be like, okay, which of my mirror checks is my logical mountain access? Because it could be the flute, which we definitely need. It could be the lamp, which admittedly is a fire source.
Yeah, we see Tstew here cleaning up the maze race and library, but also getting this powder check. So this could potentially close the loop in the logic here if this is a flute or something.
I admittedly forgot that Tstew didn't even check Ray's game and library because of his early Darkwood play.
All right, so that mirror very likely has to lead to something. For Eri here, it looks like he is making the Eastern play as well. I was going to say it is very tempting to kind of clean some stuff up given how few locations that mirror opens up. So it's still pretty likely that your intended progression that needs to go along with the mirror is out here somewhere.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, given that, you know, Eri's options are not ideal, it's reasonable for him to be going into Eastern. Tstew looking like he's probably going to head over to Pod right now. I think this is going to be Pod over Pyramid Catfish. Just kidding. He's proving me wrong.
Yeah, so this is a bit unfortunate, right? This means he is going to hard last location that mirror.
Yeah. But if, say, the flute is here on Catfish, that could be pretty big.
Yeah, for sure.
The sword could also come into play too, because I don't necessarily see Harry going independent desert anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly. The difference between Master and Tempered Sword is very significant.
Harry almost running right past that big chest.
Okay, there we go. There's our Forest Source and Logical Death Mountain access.
That's a little unfortunate for tstew, I think.
But if Harry bails, right, and that lamp could lock the Fire Rod, so this could prove to be significant at some point.
It could, but that's a tough reach for tstew right now. It's the one he kind of needs, but that's not something you expect.
Yeah, and the other thing is the best kind of location we have right now for the lamp to lock the Fire Rod is the thing he is isolated in desert, right?
Yeah. Or Hera Big Chest, Hera Big Key Chest, excuse me, would be the other one. Which I kind of expect tstew to do, because oh no, tstew doesn't have the mirror, so this is just the same checks that Aries already done.
Yeah, the lamp kind of unfortunately is leading him in the wrong direction a bit more. And the other thing is, Ari will be very easily able to narrow down where either this lamp or flute would be from his perspective, based on the checks he has left.
Yeah, that's very true. I forgot this book exists. This book is gross.
Yeah, so we got a nice hookless pendant Hera. I do not expect. Well, Ari can't progress if the big key is fire locked.
Right. But it's not. I'd be a little surprised if he progresses anyways.
Yeah, exactly. And he can. I guess it's not that easy for him to come back. Oh, well, there you go. Now he's probably leaving.
Yeah, we're gone.
This knight with the hammer, mitts, and mirror, he's going to be able to do these Death Mountain checks very efficiently. Ari is pretty good at hovering, so I expect him to be able to full clear both Light and Dark Death Mountain in one go.
So just taking a look at this, the logic of the seed. The seed was, you had to go to Catfish for your lamp and into Bowless Pod in order to get the mirror. So this isn't the best. Nice ether medallion. Of course it's ether.
That's good. Yeah, he's just not going to waste time getting his map out of the compass chest in Turtle Rock now, so should be happy about that.
That's true. But that does tell Ari to not look for flippers in Turtle Rock, in case that becomes a thing. Because we know Ether is sitting on Zora Ledge.
Yeah, it looks like Ari just going straight in here before checking Paradox Cave, so that shows he's very confident in his... well, never mind. Soul Read right there.
That's so terrible. And the Ice Rod? Okay, all of a sudden, Ari's in very good shape.
Yeah, we're just looking for... what? Bow, Fire Rod, Flipper's Flute?
Yep. Which sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. Given how much they respectively lock.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd still expect us to find something else. I guess Eri technically should have the lamp, so he potentially has a full clearable mire.
He doesn't have the flute.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, so we don't. That hookshot really doesn't do much still, right? We just got missed to open up some Smith chain stuff, and
yeah. So like you said, I think we're still expecting something here in Paradox that gives us dungeon clearing capabilities. Chat mentioning Ares seems very far ahead. It's not as big of a lead as you might think, but Aerie finding the mirror first here in pod, so tstew will pick it up, has basically led to all the items that tstew doesn't have at this point. So having the mirror being kind of the linchpin of the seed. There's the flippers. Aerie getting to it first kind of helped him establish a lead, but with those flippers, I think we're going straight to swamp.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Swamp into ice, essentially.
Yeah, and it will this kind of setup is nice because it will allow him to clean up Bombo's tablet and Cave 45 if he chooses to.
I think that will kind of depend on what we see here in swamp.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and the left side swamp decision here is a little interesting. If you get early map or compass, you're still 3 items from go mode, so you might see a left side play.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think if we see map or compass, we're going left side. I suspect Aerie feels overall decent about his routing. He hasn't been baited into desert, but he's also been pretty thorough everywhere else, so I don't think he suspects that he's going to be super behind, just because of the getting the mirror kind of early, or at least early compared to tstew.
Yeah, there wasn't really a great time to go to pod before he did, so I think you're right. So yeah, on the tstew side, the next player for him is very obviously going up the mountain.
Yeah. But he's got to feel like he's behind at this point, considering he last located that mirror.
Yeah, if I were in tstew's spot, I'd be going full gamble mode at this point. It was like going straight, putting the clown hat on, and going for it.
That's going to be rough to come back against, considering Ares, how generally thorough Ares has been. Like for tstew, you want to cut corners, but at the same time, cutting corners means basically doing all the checks that you know Ares probably going to do. So like you almost have to consider maybe doing a Tower of Hera play, kind of just to say, okay, if I might be losing, so I might doing this would maybe make me potentially lose by even more. But if it pays out, it could be what I need to get back into this race.
Yeah, that's true. It can be hard to identify like what your outs are. Is it do you go one way or the other? That's a good point.
I've admittedly not paid attention a whole lot to swamp. I don't think we've seen a map or compass, so... Oh, there's one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first 2 checks were
items.
Were both items.
Nice. And there's the map. So we do have at least 2 items left side. I don't think we've seen the big key yet either.
No, yeah, we haven't. So.
And yeah, tstew's dipping out of Tower of Hera after the mid switch. Super reasonable.
You can see Eri going to the Argus fight. No tempered swords. We'll see. Just going for double hook spins, which makes sense.
you would know this. Is blue mail allowed in this mode?
Yes, he can get blue
Okay.
mail. He can't get red though.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Nice ice rod shots to finish off. That is a mushroom, and I don't like that.
Yeah, you can see Aries' disdain for the decision he has to make because it's the bad setup too, right? This is one where the big key can be on the left side, and you got to go back to the big chest.
Yep, it would not surprise me to see him nope out of here. All right, clearly I just say everything and then they do the opposite.
So this kind of tells you that Aries feeling pretty good about his position if he's going back in for this.
I mean, his facial reactions maybe suggest otherwise. Tsu's looking like he is just having a blast over there. Love watching these two runners and like their facial expressions. Eri looked pained walking back in, and it looked like Tsu was just like jamming out a moment ago.
It's nice because you can relate to it. You're like, oh yeah, that's how I would be playing the position too. So like, it validates my feelings. All right, so Tsu reading Death Mountain in a bit of a different way. I don't know what the right thing to do is, but
yeah, I don't know either. I think we'll default to what you said earlier. If you see Eri doing it, it's probably the right way.
That's true. Yeah, so Tsu going to get his hookshot here in Hookshot Cave, and I'm assuming he'll be following Eri right behind. It's very interesting to see what is going to be blocked by left side swamp here.
Could be a lot.
Eri going for that hook shot.
If you fail it, you feel like a fool, unfortunately.
Dude, I did that for so long until I failed it once, and I realized that one time had cost me all of the time I had saved from doing it for like a year.
Oh, big key, naturally.
Yes, now he's got to go all the way back to the big chest.
Yep.
This is why this left side swamp setup is awful. So Tsu gonna take a quick peek at his ether as TR medallion. No, he's got to go back to the Zora area. So now, was this left side swamp play worth it? No.
Okay, that is something I expect Tsu to skip, honestly. Just given, unfortunately, his early game and last locating the mirror. So that's going to be time that he will make up against Eri, assuming he does skip it.
Yeah, and so Eri here going straight to ice. This makes sense. He doesn't have to clean up the mirror checks because he can do those with Smith Chain if he feels like it. So
Tsu, though, is actually going to clean up some of the checks here. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, this is interesting. So Ice Palace, obviously Kane makes this much quicker, but having to use Bombos every time does slow things down a little bit.
Yeah, and the fight for Eri is going to be a little more obnoxious than the fight for Tsu, given the sword differences, unless the other sword is just here in Ice Palace.
So this Bombos Talbot check here could prove to be significant potentially. It's just nothing anywhere.
Yeah, this has just kind of been unfortunate overall for Tsu that some of his plays haven't paid out the way that he would probably need in order to...
Oh no, Eri doing what we've all done. Quick swap in the mirror in the middle of your dungeon. Feels bad, man.
You got it. You never like that. QuickSwap has done a lot of amazing things and has like shown some cool routing and like cool techniques, but that is probably the biggest drawback right there. Chat asking if magic is going to be an issue. No, it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, because he'll have enough to bombos the Freezors, and you get 2 magic bots for Cold Stare, and he's got nothing to use magic on Cold Stare anyway, right? Unless he gets the Fire Rod. Yeah. I mean, after the first bombos cast, obviously.
Right. Oh god.
The look on his face as he boomeranged the like, why did I do that last time? I'm an idiot. That's we can all relate to that.
Oh yeah.
That was a hot icebreaker right there.
That was really good. I got to figure out what he did and try to emulate that.
So yeah, I don't think we found any items nice yet.
There was a heart piece in the big key chest.
Nice big key placement there. See if he. Harry's staying true to his word. He did tell me yesterday he was going to stop doing that stair clip, and he appears to have stopped. So good for him. tstew looks like he's going straight left side.
A little interesting.
In he will gain a little bit of time. This is faster than what Eri did, but obviously slower than skipping it altogether.
Yeah. That's all 3 items in Ice Palace, so nothing. I guess the flipper's not really paying off a whole lot. Kind of puts us back in into a okay, what now position.
Yeah, for Eri, that Smith chain is going to be looking pretty tempting, I think.
Because he hasn't done Magic Pad either, so that's 6 or 7 items right there.
All right, this is not an easy fight.
No,
that Eri's dropping here into.
And he does not have a potion because he did use it to potion glitch in pod.
Yeah, so with Master Sword, he can do his double poke and get. Ooh, that's a little scary. Oh, how did he get hit there?
I think he used the iframes that he took from the first hit. Oh, that's scary though.
Oh,
oh my goodness.
These puffs are not playing nice. Bad thing about taking an early hit, it makes you hesitant to use the hammer.
That, and it kind of makes it lets the puffs kind of separate and start hemming you in.
Oh, wow. Nice dash poke into spin. That is, jeez, I gotta steal that one.
Yeah, it didn't even look like that dash poke should have hit, considering like he was almost not even facing that Cold Stare puff, but got through. Crystal number 3 for Eri at the 52-minute mark, so still chugging along at a decent clip.
All right, so Eri's got to remember to grab his Ether Medallion here. Maybe we'll take a quick detour to Hobo. Yeah, looks like it.
But then what do you do if you're Eri? Because you've done all of your good checks. He still hasn't been to desert. Still doesn't have a fire source.
Yeah, he's got a pretty nice way to clean up, starting from Smith's chain all the way down to get through. He can hookshot over and do Graveyard Ledge if he doesn't want to do it right away.
Yeah, that's true. Given that, I'm a little bit surprised because, like, if he goes all the way, I would almost think he should go get Ether with doing Catfish, unless he thinks that he's going to get progression beforehand, and he thinks Catfish is just not something that he's going to make it to.
Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. So tstew going to gain a little bit of time here on Argus. Not going for the 0 cycle, but we'll get a pretty easy 1 cycle with Tempered Sword.
Nice map check.
Not bad cleanup there after poking him. Oh yeah, we also forgot about that mushroom.
Ew. I'd rather stay forgetting about that mushroom.
Yeah, seriously.
That is crystal number 2 for tstew. He's probably just going to go right over to Ice Palace. Again, could probably make up a little bit of time, assuming he doesn't mirror, and the Cold Stare fight should probably go a little bit faster. So, you know, he's making up seconds here and there, but still has a little bit to go to kind of get back to where Eri is currently.
Yeah, he's like basically exactly almost an Ice Palace behind.
Yeah.
Okay, King's Doom, still nothing. That's another new check for us. So yeah, it looks like Eri is going to offer the Smith Chain South play. It's definitely his most dense option, so it makes perfect sense for him to do this.
Yep. I have to imagine, I think our next progression item is going to be the flute. It kind of feels like it's going to be, you know, flute into Fire Rod into bow and Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that would make sense. Either order of flute, Fire Rod would kind of make sense. That bow is so often on Laser Bridge that I would be surprised to see it there.
There was a bow in our spoiler race yesterday in Laser Bridge.
Well, tstew's trying to catch that fairy, but unfortunately it ran right into him. Now he's getting bullied by this skeleton here.
A little unfortunate.
You don't see people get hit by that particular guy very often.
Yeah. Because usually you just kind of ignore him as you go through to go towards the switch, but because tstew was trying to pick up the fairy, he was hanging out there a little bit longer than he wanted to, allowing that skeleton to make his move. I'm assuming Eri hasn't done... Okay, I was gonna say hadn't done Magic Bat yet, but he's gonna do it right now.
So like this race is a little bit closer than it looks, right? Assuming there's not a convenient sword on the way, and Eri's going to have to check K45 and Bombo's tablet, whereas tstew, if he has to do the Smith Chain, will just be able to stop here.
The thing is, so like, obviously Eri's going to take this all the way over to Purple Chest. Does he take that into Desert, knowing that he can't clear it?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. And like so much of his progression could be currently flute locked, right? Too.
Mm-hmm.
That, mind you, pretty much all the checks he has left outside these mid-lock checks were available without going to the mountain.
So I think in his mind he's got to imagine that it's flute that is locking the mountain and not the lamp. Because at this point the lamp doesn't get us anything additional aside from Landmo. Whereas the flute gets us the Mire area.
tstew into his Cold Stare fight here, having a definitely much easier time than Eri, obviously, with that sword advantage. It's be hard not to. All right, so Eri, what are you going to do after this purple chest?
Yep.
Well, you're going to check Bombo's tablet, but what are you going to do after you check Bombo's tablet?
I'm also interested to see what tstew's going to end up doing, because I imagine he's going to go pick up his Ether Medallion too, but then curious to see what's next on his list of bad checks. He doesn't know it, but this lamp is, potentially becoming more and more relevant.
Yeah, like 2 of the how many, not very many checks we have left available to us are lamp locked.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Eri is making this fire sourceless desert dip, so tstew going to get all this time back as well. And he did have. It's good for him, right? Because he had the sword advantage for much longer, and he's not losing any time from it.
Correct. Because it's not like Eri can continue on in desert. So for both runners, if Landmo is the answer, it's going to be a double dip.
See Eri bonking. I always mess up that dash going out of Games Cave too. It's hard to do.
tstew starting Sanctuary, probably going to be doing similar to what Eri was doing, which is the Smith Chain and King's Tomb.
Right, so if we narrow down to just desert, is tstew going to get there before Eri?
Yeah, I think so. Because
he's checking the mushroom too, so this could be interesting.
Yeah, because he's already done Pyramid Catfish, so this is, I think, the best time for him to do the mushroom. But yeah, I think tstew is going to get to desert first if the answer is Landmo or the respective green pendant afterwards. I don't know if Eri is going to want to come back to desert after picking up the lamp, or if he's going to choose to go up to Hera and potentially a Turtle Rock dip.
Yeah, I seriously doubt Eri would do it out of logic. Fire Rodless TR dip.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to, like, once he picks up the lamp, it's not going to be out of logic for him.
Oh, sorry. I was kind of misreading the order that which you said things there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, also be interesting to see if tstew decides to clean up Graveyard Ledge, because he doesn't have a good way to get back to it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Man, Graveyard Ledge is a bad check.
Yeah. I think you kind of have to do it here if you're tstew.
Yeah, I agree.
He could take the purple chest up there if he really wants to, but I don't know what the best. I think it is correct to do that, but I'm not sure.
I think if you have, well, yeah, because he's already done K45, so he could conceivably just save and quit after doing Graveyard Ledge and then take it directly down from that way. So yeah,
it's just so easy to lose that purple chest going to Graveyard Ledge.
Oh yeah,
nervous every time.
So this is Eri cleaning up what he has in logic, which is Pyramid Catfish, which will get him his lamp.
So he's got an even tougher decision now. Does he go back to desert, or does he go opt into a one-item Hera check and Fire Rodless TR?
God. Maybe Eri does get back to desert first, because, like...
Maybe. But he's going to check Graveyard Ledge here, for sure.
Definitely.
So if Graveyard Ledge is the answer, assuming tstew goes north with that purple chest, we're pretty close race here.
No to Graveyard Ledge, though. So if this is something, I think this is kind of going to give Eri what he needs.
Okay.
But it's not. And tstew's 500% going to take this back into desert, I think.
Yeah, he's got to. So so it's what, like close to 50-50 as to who's ahead, assuming Eri opts for the mountain after getting this land?
Yeah, it basically just turned into what Eri's decision is. Because we're basically down to 3 areas left.
Like on Eri's side, like These are such horrible options. I don't know if I've ever been in a position with 3 options this bad.
They're not fun. You know, I don't think Aries having a whole lot of fun either with it.
Dude, he's been rolling his eyes constantly for like the past 20 minutes.
Yeah. I don't blame him. All right, so a big moment coming up. Tisu already heading over towards Landmo. Aries going to have to make a decision. Do we go to the mountain or do we go to desert?
Yeah, like... Okay, we're...
Mountain. All right, into Hera and into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, because this is interesting, right? Because desert is guaranteed to be 2 items. This could be, what, up to 5? Can you possibly... maybe 6? I'm trying to think if it's mandatory, how many items mandatory to skip, but potentially much more lucrative, but also potentially half as lucrative.
Right. Well, let's see, because you need keys in Turtle Rock. You need keys in the first chest, Chain Chomp. You need the big key in the big key chest to even be able to get farther back. So those obviously aren't items. So you get 1 item from Mimic Cave. I don't know. I don't know how many items.
T2 getting a nice little setup there to get double spin. Ice Rod Lambo can be very challenging. All right, here we go. What do we got here? Well,
not Landmo. Meanwhile, over in Hera, have not found the second item yet, so still have Moldorm and the basement. So for T2, like, you have to turn in the green pendant. You went all this way. You got to follow through.
Yeah, it sucks that you don't have the flute to do this, but
right,
it is what it is.
Compass, we're going to the basement.
At least for Aries' sake, like, he maybe wants to see the item in the basement, right? Because he did not have a fire source, and I bet you in his head it would have been tough to have a fire source going up here because it means you had to have checked catfish first. Oh, there we go.
Okay, that's huge.
So this race just swung in a fairly big way.
Mm-hmm.
Now watch the bow be in Hera basement, but
oh geez. Well, yeah, the bow or the flute.
The Aries praying to the rando gods right now.
Yeah, so the early pyramid catfish play paying off big time for Tisu. Like, you don't think the lamp is important, but in this case it hard locked the fire rod.
Yeah, remember we said like 40 minutes ago that like one of Tisu's main outs is for that fire rod to be in desert. And then it happened. So now Aries got to go to TR.
Yeah, you can't just avoid it at this point.
So if you're rooting for Aries, you do not want to see a small key in that compass chest.
The thing is, though, like, you know, we talked about how few outs Tisu had originally, you know, the one being basically that lamp. What outs at this point does Aerie have?
He needs the map here in the compass chest, and he needs to execute to his highest capability after that.
Yeah.
Like, there's nowhere else. Or, I mean, the bow, like, maybe T-Stew skips the bow and Meyer cutscene or something, and there's a flute in here, and he gets back into it, but we kind of need to know where our next piece of progression is before we start figuring out what Aries' outs are now.
Right. All right, so Turtle Rock. 5 items. Mimic Cave gets us a 6th item. Pyramid Fairy still not a potential answer because one of our 5/6s is the bow, or is Eastern Palace, which requires the bow. Unfortunately, Eri did get a small key in the first chest.
Yeah, we did see a small key in Roller Room too, though, so it's fairly unlikely that Chomps is another small key.
Yeah, we're probably stopped right here.
Watch there be a bow in Chomp's chest. That would be sick. No, dude.
Oh, he's gonna check that shovel. Oh my god. It doesn't route too bad going into desert, but if this is the bow though, like, and Tisu finds the flute here in Turtle Rock, maybe that becomes something.
Yeah, potentially. Oh, TC's in trouble here. He's
Yeah, the chain chomps have not been kind to him. Nope. Alright, so...
Yeah, Eri knows where he needs to go now.
Yep. So Tistu last located the mirror, but Ares last locating this fire rod.
Yes, and one of these things was much more punishing than the other.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, this has been a nutty seed so far. Like,
Yeah.
after the kind of mid game, like this has swung so many times.
Yeah, like Aerie had established himself a pretty decent lead, but it turned out the lamp was just hard required.
And the kind of bad thing for Eri is that once he gets his fire rod, right, it's tough for him. There's not a whole lot of like skips or gambles left to make. You assume once you find your piece of progression here that the sea is going to be fairly linear going forward.
Yeah, like this is the late game, and hard last locating in the late game is not good because you usually don't have a lot left to try to make a comeback. Like if you're rooting for Aerie, I think you have to hope that it's the bow on Ped, and that the flute is here in Turtle Rock, just because that's going to draw Tistu, at least for the time being, away from Tower of Hera. And that's the one thing that Aerie has at this point over Tistu.
That's a good point.
So far, nothing in Turtle Rock, though. I love watching Tistu like jam out to whatever he's listening to.
Yeah, it's nice to see him like getting the rhythm here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Eri about to get his green pendant. Tistu about to pick up his bow on Laser Bridge that we told you about an hour ago.
Man, imagine if it's just the fire rod to give you access to the pedestal. That's a thing.
That would be sick. Yeah. There also is that second Skull Wiz item too, right?
Yeah. Alright, Aerie going to pick up his fire rod, and we'll take this straight over to Turtle Rock.
Just bombs in our first Laser Bridge. Oh.
There's the flute.
All right, so I mean, we knew something had to be here. Well, I guess it didn't absolutely have to be here, but it was very likely to be here.
Yeah. But now all tstew is looking for is that bow.
Yeah, so obviously, Eri going to TR obviously makes perfect sense. He could have opted to go to Skullwoods, and if he feels really behind, and maybe play to his outs, but I don't think Eri really ever needs to do that. So
No. And Hail Mary plays very rarely pay off. And that would have been a Hail Mary play.
yeah, it's the worst when you do something like that, then realize you were ahead all along or something,
Oh,
right? And so that feeling is awful.
Yep. Like we may be watching it. We might know who is ahead, but you know, neither of them know. tstew, please.
Yeah, there you go. Strategic hits to get into position, right? That's what you say.
It's usually how that goes. Crazy to think that we're an hour and 15. That is only our 4th crystal. Eri picked up his 3rd crystal like almost 25 minutes ago. That's how much the seed has grinded to a halt.
Yeah, like personally, when I play these seeds, if I don't have 4 crystals at 50 minutes, I'm feeling pretty bad.
Yeah.
And getting up to an hour and 15 minutes, you got to be feeling pretty nervous. All right, so obviously tstew going to activate his flute here, and going to be heading straight to Mire.
Thankfully, we have all 3 medallions, so we do not have to consider a medallion hunt.
Yeah, so chat asking what the difference is. Full TR clear is definitely less than 6 minutes.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell exactly what the time difference is. I say maybe like 4 minutes.
I would think 4. Alright, into Misery Mire, or at least Mire's Shed first off. Just looking for one thing and one thing only. Is it here? Yes! Yep. Alright. That is go mode for tstew.
So that is a fairly significant lead. Like Ares' execution is going to give him. So what does he got? Mire, Pod, Eastern, and Ganon's Tower. So you give Ares a minute, 2 minutes and a half to come back through execution, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get much more than that.
Yeah, it's going to have to take a significant, I don't want to say blunder on tstew's part, but something significant would have to happen. And then I think Ares would need to probably pick right in GT routing. But I don't know their GT routing choices.
I don't know what tstew does. I think Ares might do I call it the Bwain route, where you go DM to right side, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, so we're saying Ares does the Bwain route. So if that pays out, right, when there's no small key and hope room, that can make you up a lot of time. And tstew has taken some extra damage here. He does have...
He's got some blues in his disposal. I know he bought 2 when he turned in the mushroom.
Yeah, he's got powder as well, so...
Yeah. And not much of a chance for Ares to make up any time in Misery Mire as well, considering it was just a God Mire. So for Ares, hopefully, for his sake, he checks the shed before just going straight into Mire.
Yeah, I would, I think, expect him to do that.
I would too.
But you never know. But yeah, looks like DC's not doing spooky.
Well, it didn't need to do it for this first room because we never hit the switch, but yeah, not doing it, period.
So you can add 10 seconds to Ares' execution advantage.
I still don't do spooky. One day I'll learn. I also said that like 2 years ago.
Dude, this guy over here winning every tournament, not doing spooky.
Well, one day I will actually, you know, work on my execution in this game, and then everyone's in trouble.
Oh, tstew.
tstew, be careful, please.
Yeah, back off a little bit. You can still take one more.
Oh my god. Luckily lightning doesn't do a whole bunch of damage, but
dude, he didn't even flinch when he got beamed.
Alright, crystal number 5 for tstew, right as Eri is about to pick up crystal number 4.
So you gotta wonder how tstew is feeling right now. I'm assuming he's gotta be feeling behind.
I just think in general, like, yeah, I think in general you gotta feel behind. Although the lamp hard locking fire rod, you know, maybe you're feeling a little bit better about that, but yeah, I still think in general you're probably feeling behind.
Yeah, when you pull that, that's where you think, okay, I actually have maybe a chance now, instead of thinking I'm completely dead. Yeah, and so for tstew, he's got big keys of both these dungeons, so he's just gotta get right through the boss as fast as possible.
And you're seeing just how quick things go when you actually are in go mode.
Yeah, and this is where the nerves can kick in a little bit too, because you're on the stream in a bit of a big position. You got the friggin' Terminator hunting you down right now, so like it's hands can get a little sweaty in this situation.
Oh yeah, and we've seen that in some earlier races too. I don't think we've actually mentioned, but there is money on the line in this tournament.
Yeah, and not only that, like with your positioning, winning this match in particular is very significant, because if you lose your last match, you just got to win one more to get into the bracket. But if you lose this match, I think you have to win an extra game.
Oh, really?
Through the lower bracket to get into it.
And that lower bracket is starting to look a little scary. There are some pretty big names down there. And yeah, like already tstew's on Helmasaur King just as Ares entering Mire, so still a pretty significant time advantage. It's going to be very hard for Ares to catch up here.
Yeah, really nice beamless Mire 2 there by Ares. Ooh, tstew. Oh man. Dude, he's just like no emotion. He's just like cool as a cucumber, 2 hearts on Helmo inside his body with his iframes.
He's been low health for a lot of these bosses.
Yeah, right. He's only got potions. Right? He's a fairy, right? Like, how are you not?
He
like,
has 2 potions. Yeah.
Terrified.
When you played this game as much as tstew and these runners have, sometimes you recognize like the situations where, from an outsider's perspective it looks scary, but like you're like, nah, we're actually just fine.
Yes, I just don't get how I can be so calm. It's funny. I never streamed with the camera before this, and now I realize what an idiot I look like yelling at my Got Fear Agent making gifs of me, and like, oh man, it's...
Like sometimes you need to do a really good reaction on camera, and all of a sudden you're internet famous. And then sometimes you're tstew who misses half of his face with the camera.
I think Eri, did he use the lamp or powder?
He used powder. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he might have forgot that he did that because he didn't set up the kind of AD spooky that you can use as a backup.
No, I didn't think it. No, I don't think he used powder because I remembered him picking up a fairy in Mire too, but that obviously wouldn't have been a powder thing.
Yeah, I wasn't paying close enough attention to find out how he lost that.
He just shaking his head. Oh no! Oh,
I saw that happening as it happened.
Oh no, tstew!
It's so easy to quick swap to mirror when you're trying to go to bow, man.
All right, well that is one for each runner, and that gives Eri a decent chunk of time back.
Yeah, for sure. This is now most certainly within the range of some maybe GT routing. We're like at closing in on the edge of, I think, the GT routing difference.
And if you weren't nervous before that mirror, you're nervous now.
Yeah, it feels so bad when you do that. And like the end of Eastern Palace is like a super common place for it to happen. I myself have mirrored at Armos.
Oh yeah,
at least once.
We've all done that. Slashing away the nerves. All right, 7 crystals for tstew. We got one thing and one thing left. That's Ganon's tower.
Yeah, so where is that big key going to be? So seeing this GT route is going to give us some perspective on what Ares outs are going to be. Yeah, also chatters, if you want to get your guesses in as to where exactly that big key will be. I don't know if we have the bot. Does the bot work yet?
I don't think the bot has worked since like the 2020 main tournament or 2019 main tournament.
Oh, really? Okay, well.
We have the bot has not been around for a while.
What am I going to do with all my points?
I don't know. Yeah, 22 checks. Oh, that's time for... Yep, that's not good for tstew. tstew getting dead rocked in a terrible spot.
Yeah, Ari looks fairly visibly frustrated.
Yeah.
It is like important though to keep your cool because you never know what happened to your opponent, and it's so hard to do in this situation to like just stay focused and play your best. Yeah, so if you're rooting for Eri, you do not want to see a small key in Hope Room. Yeah, so that makes the variance in the GT route significantly lower.
And it, given what you said about Eri's route, this should actually work in tstew's favor, regardless of where the big key is, because even if it is on left side at this point, you know, Eri's going to have a little bit of a slower route towards the left side.
Exactly. There are now only 5 checks where Eri's route will be faster and is barely faster.
Mm-hmm. Nice room.
I guess unless tstew goes full right, but there's no way that's happening.
You're not going, you know. Who actually goes full right?
Nowadays? I feel like full right is being talked about infinitely more than is actually being done.
Yeah. All right, 7 crystals for Eri. About 3.5 minute difference between the crystal pickups.
So we found all of our small keys, yeah.
tstew, please.
Nice cape.
Oh, good. We were missing that for our full inventory. Although I guess we don't have the red meringue. No, someone has the red meringue.
Yeah, I think they both have it.
Hooray, full inventory.
All right, there we go.
Definitely wasn't paying attention to numbers. 2, 6,
I'm not doing
7,
that on stream.
11, 12, 13. Considering we had... Oh, no, there were some guesses up here. All right. It looks like 11 might have been our closest without going over. Hooray. Oh, no.
So
nope, just kidding. Josh said 13. Sorry to the person who said 11.
Nice. I'll point out that obviously that Eastern Palace mirror was a lot of it, but Eri has made up a lot of time. That was like a 4.5 minute lead that is now probably under 2 minutes.
I agree entirely, yeah. But Eri's going to be giving away a little bit of time here with this route, unfortunately, unless he Giga Brains like a rando room rush kind of play. tstew's got to be a little bit careful. He does have 2 blue potions. I hope he remembers to use them if needed. You know, some top runners will be in a position where like they get the potions, but they think, oh, I'm not going to ever need them, and then they die.
I'm personally offended by that comment.
I'm sorry, Matt. That was not immediately directed at you.
Use it, tstew. Oh my god. He got hit, but he was still barely in iframes. He reacted to that one, so that's what it takes. Like frames from death to get something out of this guy. Oh, I see a tile room play on Eri's side.
Wow, this is all right. Understandable. Yeah, Eri knows he's behind at this point.
I will say, because he might have been waiting to see if there was a key in Hope Room to make this decision. I don't know what he was thinking, but you can see he's doing the right thing. This is his out, his only out left, right? And so it's like, people can make memes about this, but if you are really sure you're in this position, it can be your only desperation play.
Yeah. Just a heart piece. Meanwhile, tstew almost done with GT.
Yeah, shouts to Synac. Now don't have to worry about despawning Ganon's tower in that room.
Like, I know it's been said and it's been announced that that is no longer a thing, but how many people actually believe that?
Yeah, I don't believe it. I waited out the top
I was
still.
like,
But
I was like, I'm not gonna risk that. Oh,
whoa.
my goodness.
No
More,
bullet.
please. At least he bullied him into a wall and not just off completely.
So Aries' last remaining out is that spin quadrant glitched. But it did not look like it was in the right spot. No. Okay.
No.
You don't want to see that either way.
No, yeah,
I don't even think Ari wants to win like that.
No. And even then, like, okay, you mirror back and, you know, tstew still has a slight lead. Alright, big key for Ari. He's going to begin his climb. Nice triple there from tstew.
Ooh, those blue balls are not cooperating.
Nope. That gets it down. So 4 cycle, about average. Judging by tstew's reaction right now, I think he looked at the race room and saw that Ari wasn't done yet.
Yeah, so you're saying there's a chance.
So at this point, you close the race room. If you are someone who keeps the race room open during the race, at this point you close it. Sick dash from Ari.
tstew on Gan here, getting a nice trident spin. Should be able to get the 1-1.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a little bit dangerous spot. I guess he's just going Cape Strats. Makes sense.
This guy still has a second blue potion.
See him clinging to that wall to prevent his magic meter, Ganon cooperating and not stopping on the first warp, so that's kind of
Yep.
nice.
There he is.
tstew.
I was gonna go ahead.
I was just commenting on tstew. He's got 2 more. Yeah, and Ari, a little bit of trouble with that. Ooh, doesn't quite get the double. He's going to have to light the torch.
Yep. It's turned into the lamp, but he does have another blue potion. But it's not going to matter because this should be arrow number 4. So GG's to tstew, who will take this and move on to face my co-commentator Matt in the winner's side of the bracket.
Yeah, looking forward to it. GG's. What a race.
What have you learned from this? No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, he looks, yeah, look at that. He
Yeah.
must be feeling great to take down a runner as good as Ari. Look at that smile.
It looks like Ari will continue on, though. Reasonable.
Yeah, getting a little fist pump action.
And this is one of the cool things just about SGL is that you can see their reactions.
Very good finishing style here. Very nice hover.
The pressure's off. Hovering is free now. Don't underestimate, like, you know, if you're pressure of a race. And yeah, the tournament is not over for Eri. He does move down to loser's bracket, but still in it. And so he just is going to have to make a little bit of a run if he wants to get into top 32.
Nice Egg 2 fight on Eri's side.
So Eri is going to finish up. We will not be having an interview, unfortunately, from either runner because we have some time constraints and we do need to move on to whatever is coming up next, which I believe is a Pokemon race. So I guess, Matt, I get to interview you real quick. How are you feeling about your opponent, tstew?
I mean, tstew's a beast. It's going to be super tough. Like, I was kind of looking forward to potentially facing Eri. I haven't raced Eri one-on-one in like over 2 years, actually. I've raced tstew a lot one-on-one, ironically. So it'll be super interesting. Obviously, maybe a little bit of relief, but like, man, anybody can beat anybody in this. Like, there's like Eri's so good, but tstew's so good too. Like, either way, it was going to be an extremely, extremely difficult matchup.
True. We're looking forward to it. Can't wait to see how you guys perform. To see winner make top 32 on the winner side. It'll be exciting for sure.
Yeah, like all the races, we're getting to the point in this tournament where all the races are going to be so good. Like, this is my favorite of the kind of rando cycle tournaments, just because all these races are so close and they're so interesting.
Eri setting up for a nice triple here. Very nicely done. GG's in chat for Eri.
Yeah, big GG's to Eri. GG's to both these guys. Too bad we can't get some interviews in, but really great, interesting race. And shows to everyone involved. Thank you, Walkix, for doing commentary with me. And shows to Clearmouse, who is on tracking, who actually stepped aside to let me commentate this race. So thank you very much. Shows to Drossi, who's helping out with the restream.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And like I said, stay tuned because I believe we're going to be doing some Pokemon next on this channel. So exciting. And of course, more SpeedGaming Live, Link to the Past, and everything SpeedGaming Live coming up kind of throughout these next couple weeks.
Yeah, I believe we got a match coming up at 3:20. I think it's Acta Boker versus Scottish Brave. And I think we got Clearmouse and Fair Agent on commentary for that. So that is going to be a great race. Suggest you all tune in for that one.
Heck yes. With that, I'm Walkix. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful day.